Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be giving my predictions for UFC Fight Night Manel Kape versus Kyoji Horiguchi. Let's get straight into it. Starting off with the first fight on the card, we have Shane Collins versus Otaro Tenzolov. Shane Collins is 7-0 and his last fight was against Talon Hamons and got a TKO in the first round and won that fight. And his opponent is Otaro Tenzolov, and he's 10-1, and his last fight was against Guillermo Torres and got a decision win. Now, this is how I think the fight will go. Collins will likely try to impose early aggression again, looking to replicate his recent finish. Tenzolov's key will be staying composed, not getting drawn into a firefight, and forcing Collins to work at a steadier pace. Tenzolov's experience in longer fights could start to show. If he can weather the early burst, he should begin to find timing, control exchanges, and reduce Collins' output. Cardio and composure are key. Collins' explosiveness may fade slightly if he can't get an early finish, while Tenzolov's steadiness and structure can help him edge the round. But I am going to go with Shane Collins by decision. I think better pacing, experience, and a long fights and composure help him take over after surviving the early pressure. I think his striking will be the main focus for him. I could definitely see a split decision here, just because I think both guys are really durable fighters, and yeah, I think it's going to be a good fight overall. Next fight on the card we have is Leon Shabazian versus Levan Chokel. Leon Shabazian is 12-4, and his last fight was against Robert Hale, where he got a submission in the first round and won that fight. And his opponent is Levan Chokel, and his record is 14-3, and his last fight was against Alexandre Goncalves and got a TKO in the second round and won that fight. Now this is how I think the fight's going to go. Shabazian will likely look to either strike into grappling entries or pull Chikali into scrambles where he can hunt submissions. Chokel's job is to stay disciplined, avoid sloppy engagement, and keep the fight standing. Round 2, this is where my pick will be most live. If Chokel keeps the fight upright and starts landing consistently, his pressure and accumulation of damage can begin to wear Shabazian down. The finish potential, I think Chokel's path is through sustained striking pressure. Shabazian is dangerous early on the ground, but if he can't secure control, he may start absorbing clean shots and extended exchanges. So that's why I'm going to go with Levan Chokel by TKO in the second round. I think pressure striking, durability, and sustained output breaks Shabazian down for a mid-fight stoppage. I think that's how it will go. Next fight on the card we have is Carol Rosa versus Luana Santos. Carol Rosa is 19-7, and her last fight was against Dora Canol, where she got a decision win, and her opponent is Luana Santos. Her record is 10-2, and her last fight was against Melissa Croden, where she got a decision win. Now this is how I think the fight's going to go. Rosa will likely look to establish cleaner striking and a controlled distance early. Santos will likely try to close the gap and make it more physical, possibly mixing in clinch work or takedown attempts. Round 2, this becomes a close tactical round. Rosa's cleaner technique and volume can win exchanges, but Santos can stay competitive if she forces grappling or keeps pressure consistent. Cardio and consistency matter most. Rosa's experience is tight striking battles and is a big factor, but Santos's durability and pressure could make it messy enough to swing rounds her way if she dictates where it takes place. So yeah, I'm going to go with Luana Santos by decision. I think pressure, physicality, and ability to disrupt Rosa's rhythm help her edge a competitive 3-round fight on scorecards. So yeah, Luana Santos by decision for me. Next fight on the card we have is Michael Aswell Jr. versus Gaston Bolanos. Michael Aswell Jr. is 11-4, and his last fight was against Luke Riley, where he got a decision loss. And his opponent is Gaston Bolanos, where he is 8-5, and his last fight is against Quang Lee, where he got a submission in the second round and lost that fight. Now that's how I think the fight's going to go. I think around 1, Bolanos will likely start faster, using movement and strike burst to try and take control early, as well as jobs to stay composed, absorb the pressure, and keep the fight at a manageable pace. Round 2, as well, steadiness becomes more important here. If Bolanos fades in output or takes risks chasing a finish, as well can begin to land more consistently and slow him down. Round 3, cardio and discipline matter the most. If Aswell keeps things simple, jab, pressure, clinch control when needed, he can edge a close final round based on consistency rather than damage. And my prediction for this fight, I'm going to go with Michael Aswell Jr. by decision. I think steady pressure, durability, and cleaner consistency over 3 rounds help him outpoint Bolanos. So yeah, Michael Aswell Jr. by decision for me. Next fight on the card we have is Mitch Raposo versus Alan Nascimento. Mitch Raposo is 10-3, and his last fight was against Azat Baksam, where he got a decision win, and his opponent is Alan Nascimento, and he is 22-6, and his last fight was against Cody Durden, where he got a submission in the second round and won that fight. Now this is how I think the fight's going to go. Round 1, I think Raposo will likely try to keep things standing, using movement and volume to avoid being dragged into grappling exchanges. Nascimento's focus will be closing distance and getting the fight to the mat as soon as possible. Round 2, this is where Nascimento gets Raposo down or forces a scramble. His submission chains become a serious problem. Raposo's main challenge is surviving early grappling pressure without giving up position. I think the finish potential, I think Nascimento doesn't need much space to work. Only he gets top position or back control, he can quickly change submissions. Raposo's only real path is keeping it standing long enough to discourage grappling attempts. So I'm going to go with Alan Nascimento by submission in the second round. Elite grappling, strong positional control, and quick submission transitions lead to a mid-fight finish. So Alan Nascimento by a submission in the second round for me. Next fight on the card we have is Bea Mesquita versus Melissa Mullins. Bea Mesquita is 7-0, and her last fight was against Montez Rendon, where she got a submission in the first round and won that fight. And Melissa Mullins is 7-2, and her last fight was against Darren Zelenakov, where she got a decision loss. This is how I think the fight's going to go. Round 1, Mesquita will almost certainly look to close distance immediately and force grappling. Mullins' priority is surviving the early storm, keeping the fight standing, and avoid any extended clinch or ground exchanges. A finish potential, this is where Mesquita is a fast starter on the mat, and once she gets on top position or back control, she is extremely efficient at locking in submissions. Mullins giving up a clean entry could end the fight quickly. If it stays standing, Mullins' only real path is keeping distance and making Mesquita strike longer than she wants. But that becomes harder as Mesquita pressures forward, so I'm going to go with my prediction, Bea Mesquita by submission in the first round. Elite grappling, immediate pressure, and rapid submission transitions lead to a quick finish on the mat. So Bea Mesquita by submission in the first round for me. Next fight on the card we have is Melsik Bagdasaryan versus Murtalzi Magomedov. Melsik Bagdasaryan is 8-3, and his last fight was against Gene Silva, where he lost by TKO in the first round. And Murtalzi Magomedov is 10-2, and his last fight was against Brahim Zurcher, where he got a TKO in the first round and won that fight. Round 1, I think Bagdasaryan will likely try to keep the distance, use kicks and settle into rhythm. Magomedov's goal is to close that space quickly and turn into a high-pressure striking fight. Round 2, I think Magomedov maintains pressure and forces Bagdasaryan to fight off the back foot. Openings will appear for power shots and sustained combinations. Finish potential, Magomedov's style is built for accumulation and pressure-based stoppages. Bagdasaryan is skilled enough to make it competitive early, but extended exchanges favor that more aggressive fighter. So my prediction, I'm going to go with Murtalzi Magomedov by TKO in the second round. Relentless pressure, forward aggression, and sustained damage lead to a mid-fight finish. So yeah, Ruslanti Magomedov by TKO in the second round there. Next fight on the card we have is Andre Lima versus Kevin Borjas. Is it Borjas? Borjas? I don't know how to say his last name, sorry. Andre Lima, 11-0. His last fight was against Daniel Barres, where he got a submission in the third round and won that fight. Kevin Borjas is 10-5, and in his last fight was against Emmanuel, what the fuck are these names? Emmanuel Rodriguez, and got a TKO in the second round and lost that fight. The fight's going to be like this. Borjas will likely start fast, trying to pressure Lima and land early power shots. Lima's key is staying composed, using movement, and not getting drawn into a fight. Round 2, Lima's technical balance and discipline start to matter more here. If he avoids early damage, he can begin to take over exchanges with cleaner volume and better decision making. Round 3, I think cardio and composure become decisive. Borjas tends to slow if he can't get an early finish, while Lima's consistency and control allow him to edge the rounds late. So I am going to go with Andre Lima by decision. Better pacing, cleaner striking, and overall control over 3 rounds lead to a steady points win. So yeah, Andre Lima by decision here. Next fight on the card we have is Christian Rodriguez versus Haida Emil. Christian Rodriguez is 12-4, and his last fight was against Andre Fili, where he got a decision loss. Haida Emil is 11-2, and his last fight was against Jamal Emmers, where he got a decision loss. Round 1, Emil will likely try to establish striking range and use movement to keep Rodriguez from settling into grappling exchanges. Rodriguez will look to close distance and make it physical. Round 2, Rodriguez's pressure and durability becomes more important here. If he consistently force clinches or mat exchanges, he can start accumulating control time and slowing Emil's outpoint. Round 3, cardio and consistency decided. Rodriguez's pace and ability to stay active in all areas usually give up an edge in close rounds, especially if Emil's output drops. My prediction, Christian Rodriguez by decision. Pressure wrestling and consistent output allow him to work out Emil's over 3 rounds. So yeah, Christian Rodriguez by decision for me. Next fight on the card we have is Vinicius Oliveira versus Andre Fili. Vinicius Oliveira is 23-4, and his last fight was against Mario Batista, where he lost by submission in the second round. And his opponent is Andre Fili, where he is 25-13, and his last fight was against Jose Delgado, where he got a decision loss there. Round 1, Fili will likely try to use movement, feints, and range control to keep Oliveira from settling into combinations. Oliveira's job is to cut the cage, close distance, and force exchanges. Round 2, this is where Oliveira pressures effectively and consistently, lands clean boxing combinations. Fili's defensive gaps become more exposed. Oliveira's power advantage can start to show. I think the finish potential, Oliveira is most dangerous when his opponent is backing up or reacting late. If Fili can't maintain distance, the accumulation of clean shots can lead to a stoppage. And I mean, Andre Fili took this fight on real short notice, so that means I'm going to go with Vinicius Oliveira by TKO in the second round. Pressure, cleaner power shots, and sustained offense outpoint break Fili down for a mid-fight finish here. Now for the co-main event we have is Ion Cutelaba versus Navajo Sterling. Ion Cutelaba is 20-11-1, and his last fight was against Umar Sy, where he got a submission in the first round and won that fight. Navajo Sterling is 9-0, and his last fight was against Bruno Lopez, where he got a TKO in the second round and won that fight. Round 1, Cutelaba will likely come out extremely aggressive, trying to turn this into a brawl early. Sterling's key is to stay calm, avoiding wild exchanges, and using movement and timing to defuse that early surge. Round 2, if Sterling survives the initial chaos, his composure and cleaner technique should start to take over. Cutelaba's output often drops if he can't land something big early. Round 3, cardio and discipline become decisive. Sterling's ability to stay structured and cohesive gives him a strong chance to outpoint Cutelaba if the fight shows into a more technical pace. My prediction, I'm gonna go with Navajo Sterling by decision. I think better composure, cleaner striking, and consistency over 3 rounds help him weather the early storm and take over late. So yeah, Navajo Sterling, by decision for me. Now for the main event, we have is Manel Kape versus Kyoji Horiguchi. Manel Kape is 22-7, and his last fight was against Brandon Royval, where he got a TKO in the first round and won that fight. And Kyoji Horiguchi is 36-5, and his last fight was against Amir Albazi, where he got a decision win there. Round 1, I think Kape will likely start fast, looking to overwhelm with speed and power. Horiguchi's focus will be reading timing, staying mobile, and avoiding early damage while picking safe counters. Round 2, Horiguchi's experience and high-level 5-round fights become a factor. If he survives the early Kape burst, his cleaner striking, footwork, and composure start to show. Rounds 3 to 5, this is where Kape's explosiveness can fade if he doesn't secure damage early, while Horiguchi's pacing, accuracy, and control tend to improve as fights go longer. So my prediction, I'm going to go with Kyoji Horiguchi by decision. Elite movement, experience, and cleaner long round striking allow him to outpoint Kape over 25 minutes. And I mean, I don't think Kyoji Horiguchi has done a 5-round fight in the UFC before. No, he hasn't. But he's probably done one, and I forgot what the other company he's been in, but he's probably done one in there. So he will have some sort of experience of a 5-round fight. But yeah, I do have Kyoji Horiguchi by decision here. But that is it. Thank you for watching my predictions for UFC Fight Night Manel Kape versus Kyoji Horiguchi. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel. It'll be a massive help. Thank you for watching. Take care. Goodbye.